Yes, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Apologies, I've got no equipment with me in terms of my mic and stuff like that. It's because I'm having to record this video on a different location. So bear with today's video. But I wanted to do a reaction to something, something that I saw from IndyCar, and I thought it was very interesting in terms of what he had to put. So let's get into the tweets. So he tweeted this morning, exclusive. Liverpool are concerned. Jurgen Klopp would say yes. Okay. Liverpool owners and slash officials are really starting to get concerned over the team's performances, not just the results. Arne Slot's job is safer now, but if performances don't pick up, they won't hesitate to make a change mid-season. While sources are saying the club owners think Jurgen Klopp might be open to a sensational return, but as of now, there's been no contact. This is really interesting. Really, really interesting. Now, do I think Arne Slot's job is under pressure? At Liverpool Football Club, you're always going to be under pressure, no matter what the circumstances are. You know, whether you've won a couple of Premier League titles, a couple of trophies, you're always going to be under massive pressure. You're at one of the biggest football institutions, clubs in world football. You're always going to be under pressure, no matter what you've done and whatever you've done on your resume. But for me, I'm seeing a lot of people talking about this, and I think it's really interesting to bring this up because I'm intrigued to see what's the journalism world going to be saying about this now. Because when I'm looking into the media, I'm looking to see if they're going to be talking about could Slot's job be under scrutiny. And when I'm looking and listening to TalkSport, TNT, to Sky Sports, the big institutions, platforms for sports, and that's why I'm interested because I'm intrigued to see if they're going to start talking about this. Because if they start talking about this, then I think there's a real indication in terms of what could be going on. Whether could Slot's job be under pressure? For me, do I think he's anywhere near the sack? In my humble opinion, no. The reason as to why, I think it was Lewis Steele about 2-3 weeks ago tweeted, Liverpool want Arne Slot's new contract done. They want him to get a new contract. So surely they wouldn't be thinking about this considering what's been going on with the results and performance. As yes, I know we have lost a couple of more games. Yes, we have performed poorly in these past couple of games. However, I don't think he's anywhere near the sack, in my opinion, because I just don't think FSG are the type of guys to let someone have 420 million quid to spend and then only a couple of months to basically get a return from it in results and slash performances based, in my humble opinion. Yes, I know we're performing badly. Yes, I know we are literally 7th in the Premier League. Losing our last 4 games, only winning 1. Only 1 win in the past 6 games. 5 defeats in 6. Yes, it is unacceptable, depending on whatever the circumstances are. Because it's not like we've got a mad injury crisis. It's not like we've got something else. It's simply just due to the fact of how Arne Slot's playing football right now. And I've had a couple of people come into my live streams, my chats. Do I want Arne Slot to be sacked? In my opinion, right now, no. And I know people will say, oh, where's your accountability? Where's your mindset? Where's your mentality of Liverpool wanting to be winning and wanting to be at the top? Of course, I want Liverpool to be top of the table. Of course, I want Liverpool to be competing on all fronts. Of course, I want to see really good performances from my team. However, I know that's just not how football works. I believe that in my opinion, Arne Slot can turn this around. I believe Arne Slot can prove to everyone that he can turn this around, because I think that we have seen it in the past. We have seen Arne Slot tactically win Liverpool football matches. We have seen Arne Slot tactically win Liverpool a trophy, not just a trophy, but a Premier League title with very much ease. Not in the sense of we win it by 1 or 2 points. We smashed the Premier League title. We was 9 points clear of Arsenal, I think it was in December. So for me, Arne Slot deserves the time to have this. Yes, if you didn't, let's say for example, if he finished third or fourth last season, and having spent 420 million quid, and being in the situation we are now, I would hear it a lot more. But the fact is, he's got the credit in the bank because he had won the Premier League title, and I believe he will turn this around long term. I just hope we will give him the time. I've seen before Brendan Rodgers, for example, under this current ownership, spend a load of money and be given a bit of time. And he didn't win anything at Liverpool. You know, he didn't win no Premier League title. Yes, he was close, and the owners gave him a couple of months into the following season. So I think they will 100% give him the same. Because it's not like we've brought terrible players or players for the next 5 or 6 years. Yes, these players are here for the next 5 or 6 years, but these players are all well-established players. Let's just list through all the players. Milos Kerkez, the best left back in the Premier League last season, one of the best up-and-coming left backs. Yes, has he performed well? No. Has he done anything really particularly great? Not really. However, I know the capability of this left back. I know the capability of Milos Kerkez. I'm going to give him the time. Moving on, you got the likes of Hugo Katiko, who's performed brilliantly. He's been a brilliant signing. He's probably been one of our players of the season. He's probably at this current rate, he's probably going to be our top goal scorer of the season. You go on to Alexander Isak, a player that we was all gassed for, a player that we was all happy for when he became a Liverpool player. And I think he's going to need a bit of time. Again, we've spoke about the preseason, etc. Time for him to build up his fitness. You move on to the other players like Jeremy Frimpong. We knew what we was getting with him. He'll be a really good squad addition at right back and play in multiple different positions. So I'm not going to put too much pressure on him. So I'm not concerned from our signings. I think our signings will turn good, and I think Arne Slot will turn this around. I just hope the fan base give him the time. Yes, I'm going to give you some interesting facts, right? Yes, Liverpool have failed to keep 9 clean sheets in any of their last 9 matches. That is a concern, 100%. Funny enough, Liverpool lost 4 games last season. They've already lost 4. Liverpool, by the way, in their last 25 games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 losses. Is that acceptable? 110% it's not. I know people are talking about, we haven't performed well since January, this, and that. I hear it, but we got the results to win the Premier League title. That's what everyone was saying. And bearing in mind, let's go back to the summer. When we signed Alexander Isak, when we signed Florian Wirtz, everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe we've got this manager who won us the Premier League in his first season. Now we've just signed these quality players. Surely we're going to go do back-to-back Premier League titles. Surely we're going to go win the Champions League. Surely we're going to go win a League Cup or an FA Cup. You get where I'm going with this. So I don't know how people's minds can just all of a sudden change. Because let's be honest, let's not forget Liverpool were 5 points clear of the Premier League title in September after we beat Everton. We were 5 points clear. 5 points. Everyone was getting jolly. Oh my God, we're top of the table. We're 5 points clear. God, imagine when we get into gear, all this and that. And I was saying the exact same thing. And that's why I'm going to give him the time, because I know he can grind out the results. And I know last season he proved to me he can tactically turn games around. He can tactically turn it from half time. I said, in my opinion, the reason we won the Premier League title was not because of A to Z or any players, it was because of Arne Slot. The way he sets it up, the team, the way he sets up the tempo, the balance, the tactics, the style of play. And obviously the players played their part. I just think Slot needs a bit of time. For me, people have been asking me, when are you going to give him? When would you give him the sack? Right now, I don't know. But right now, I'm more focused about the games we've got coming up. We've got 4 games from now into the international break. Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup, Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and Man City. In my humble opinion, we are 1000% in a top 4 race if we don't beat Aston Villa and Man City. And we are 1000% glad to be concerned about qualifying for the Champions League if we don't pick up at least something from Real Madrid, in my opinion. Because you're going with 4 games to go. You've still got to go to Inter away, Marseille away. 2 tough away grounds that's been proven to be this season. You're looking at PSV, who just slapped up Napoli. Been good in the Champions League so far. Qarabag, 2 wins out of 3. And obviously Crystal Palace in the EFL Cup, so that could be a trophy down the bin. Arne deserves the time. Give him the time. Yes, if things don't change in the next 3 to 6 months, cool, have your opinions. But I think until then, people just need to give him a chance because we're still in the Carabao Cup, we're still in the FA Cup, and we're certainly still in the Champions League. I think Liverpool actually might have a really good Champions League campaign, and people may say, "Oh my God, that is absolutely ludicrous." I actually think we've played quite well in the Champions League so far, in my humble opinion. But that is the end of the video. Let me know, do you want Arne Slot out? Do you think he will get the sack? And do I think Jurgen Klopp will come back to Liverpool? I think people are putting two and twos together, making 10 rather than 4, because I think Jurgen Klopp, in my opinion, will probably come back as more of an interim type of role where he'll come in for like maybe 6 to 12 months just to stir the ship. I don't think he'll come back in for another 9 years, 8 years, 7, 6, 5+ years. I don't think it'll be sort of that. He's seen in the interview, he's happy. And I think he wants to stay like that, in my humble opinion. But you never know in football. You never know. Will Arne Slot get sacked? I guess we'll have to find out over the long term periods because some of the fans want him out. Me, I want him in. Right. As of right now, the time I'm recording this, smash a like, subscribe, take care, people. Have a good week.